up, fantasy football fools? We are back for another recap. We got the week. Can you scroll up a little bit? We got the week 13 recap coming at you. 13 weeks in the books. We got one last matchup before playoffs. How you feeling after week 13?
It's a crapshoot. Me, Chris, and you all have pretty good chances, or the best three chances for that fourth spot. So it's gonna be interesting week 13 or week 14.
Yeah, I truthfully can't believe I found myself in this situation of like having a legit chance to make the playoffs. But here we are, week 13. And I put up one of my highest scores of the season with Lamar getting injured in the first quarter on drive number 3.
Yeah, that's a good score. You can see your top three scores: a Browns D 31. If you get a 30 from your defense, you lined up for a pretty good day. That kind of swapped out with Lamar's 2 or whatever he got. So yeah, you had a really good week and you needed it. I had an okay week. Chris had a better week. I knew Chris was going to put up some good scores, so I knew I had to play above average, and my team pretty much just was average. So that's not going to win me against teams like Chris and other playoff people. So I could have clinched it with a win versus Chris, but my team just couldn't pull through.
Yeah, that like we mentioned at the beginning, puts us in a very interesting spot for playoffs, which we'll get to when we get to the standings. But we can kind of go over we're just going over the general scores here. We'll get more in depth with the standings and all that at the end here. But Jeff, another good week by him. Team inconsistency is looking a little bit more consistent these days. He has been he's been putting up and putting up big. So another big week by him, because you know what? Shout out to James for a valiant effort. I mean, he puts up a 115. That's probably one of his best scores of the season. I was on the James train. I wanted Jeff to lose this game, but you know what? James put up a hell of an effort here. And he gets eked out by Jeff with another great score. So congrats to Jeff on that dub. He's in.
Yeah, he's definitely in. He still could lose the 1-2 seed, but it's probably very unlikely that he misses the playoffs. Probably like 97% chance, I think it says. So
I don't think it would matter though, because if he loses the 2 seed, he'd be the 3 seed and play the same person.
Well, yeah, me and Chris would have to outscore him by like 70 in week 14.
I was going to say, I don't think it matters who's getting in now, because the 4 seed is going to be one of us, right?
4 seed is going to be.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll go with Nick and Johnny's game. Nick turned out a 77, Johnny 104. I think Johnny still has an outside chance at the playoffs, but it's like 1 or 2%. So he kept his playoff chances alive, but he's definitely in the running for the 4th place game. I think he's clinched that. So I guess congrats on Johnny. He had a really good season in the beginning and then just fell off. He got his first win in like 5 weeks. So congrats, I guess. 7 weeks, something like that.
He went on a 7-game losing streak, and this was the first dub.
Yep. So congrats to Johnny.
Nick's got to be sick, dude. His team fell off hard.
Yeah, both those teams fell off hard. I mean, if you asked us week 4, those 2 teams were in the playoffs for sure in the first month and a half. But fantasy football can do that to you. It's a tough game, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is a tough game. And speaking of tough years, Jimbo over here, Team We Suck. I mean, he has just been on a fucking tear at the time that it absolutely doesn't matter anymore. And that is really unfortunate. Jimmy had a really tough, unlike the other 2 we just talked about, Jimmy had a tough start to the year. A lot of big points getting dropped on his head, tough losses all over the place. And then just his team kind of looked like it was floundering around a little bit, but he made some moves, and man, his team has been on a roll. He's been knocking off big names left and right. He knocks off Lubasi here, who unfortunately already had a playoff spot secured, but man, I know Lubasi would have been sick if this had playoff implications and he lost with a 122.
Yeah, Lubasi actually lost out on the 1 seed for this. If he would have won this week and then won versus Rudy, he would have got $75. So he's probably still a little salty. At least I would have been, because this was a big loss in the grand schemes of just winning a little bit more money. But yeah, congrats to Jimmy. for the big. I mean, like you said, the last 3 weeks been really good for Jimmy. So he's. I think his season's over though. I think he doesn't
It
even have a shot
is.
for the 4 seed. So or
Oh,
the
actually,
four
I don't
seed
know
matchup.
about that. I mean, we'll see in the standings, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't. You're probably right. I think he is at the bottom of your division.
So then we got the Rudy and Dom. Rudy actually had a tough week, even though he won. He had some injuries to Kenneth Walker. And I think somebody else kind of got banged up in the game too. I can't think of it, but I know Kenneth Walker got banged up. He might be out this week and maybe possibly a couple weeks. So Rudy's team is going to be struggling without Kenneth Walker if he misses playoff time, but he's definitely in the 1 seed no matter what. So he's got a free week next week. He can win, lose, doesn't matter. But he needs his team to be healthy for the playoffs because this team is really good. But if he's losing just 1 or 2 main guys, he does not have the depth, and he's going to be struggling in the playoffs if that happens.
Yeah, and this is definitely one of the favorites in the playoffs if he's at full strength. But yeah, I mean, exactly like you said, he's got some injuries here and there. It could definitely be a big swing in someone else's favor.
Yeah, so Kenneth Walker, I thought he had somebody else, but maybe I was wrong.
I mean, that's
going to
who.
be bigger.
If either of us make the playoffs, this is who we're playing. So
Yeah, I think Jalen Waddle was questionable until today. I think he had something with his leg. I don't think he played every snap last week. I think that's who I was thinking about because he only had 1 catch for 9 yards. I think he got taken out of that game in the second quarter or second half. So, but he looks like he's healthy. So anyway, let's go to the standings. We can look at the percentage chances. Like I said, Rudy and Lubasi are 100% in. Jeff, I don't know why it's only 93%. It should be like 99.9% chance because he's beating me and Chris and you by a good 80.
yeah, but
90
isn't
points.
the first tiebreaker head to head?
Head to head, right. But me and Chris are both 1-1 against Jeff. So that would go to points for that. So I think he's definitely in.
Yeah. I mean, 93%. He's pretty much in. I think doesn't hurt for Jeff to get a dub though to kind of secure that. But yeah, if he loses, I mean, there is an outside chance, a 7% chance that he doesn't make it in.
Yeah. So then we'll have me and Chris at the 45% mark, around 45%. And then you with 16. So what really needs to happen, I guess we can just go, I'll go on Chris and mine, and then you can kind of talk about your playoff chances and what you need to happen. So for Chris, even if he wins against Jeff, if I beat Dom, who I play, and I beat Chris by more than 14 points, I will get the 4 seed. Me and Chris are 1-1 against each other, and we are 14 points, less than 14 points away from me in points. And like I said, the second, if you guys are tied head to head, it goes to points 4. So even if he wins, I still have a chance if I beat Dom. But if Chris loses and I win, of course, that makes me in because I also have the tiebreaker against Ryan. I'm 1-0 against him this year. So really, I just need to win and put up a really good score, and I should get that 4 seed. And pretty much Chris too. So me and Chris are pretty much just need to win and kind of see how the point total goes from there. But we're in must-win territory.
Yeah, if Chris beats Jeff, though, Jeff could end up with the 4 seed because Chris would be ahead of him at that point because he'd be 2-1 against him.
Correct. So, yeah, so Jeff would be the 4 seed. Chris would be the 2 seed possibly, yeah.
Yeah, so Jeff actually does need to get this dub if he wants to secure that 2 seed.
Yeah, so you're either going to play against Rudy or Lubasi because Rudy's got 1, Lubasi's got 3 locked up. But Jeff is pretty much in the playoffs. I think it's just more going from the 2 to 4. Because did you beat Jeff in head-to-head?
No.
So, yeah, I think what would need to happen for Jeff to lose playoffs,
he would have to lose to Chris, and you would have to win and put up the points over him.
No, or he could. Yeah, that would because Johnny and Chewy are 6 and 7, so they can't even catch Jeff. So yeah, so I would have to put up more than 89 points against them, which is highly improbable.
Yeah, you're not gonna beat him by 89.
So,
but apparently this website thinks there's a 7% chance that all of that happens.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I think that's a little too low for Jeff. I think.
Because that's the only way he could miss the playoffs, like actually not be in them.
Right. Because okay, do you want to talk about your playoff chances? What you need to happen? I'm gonna just double check while you talk the rules and make sure I read that right last time. So you can go ahead and talk.
Yeah, I mean, I basically need Jacob to lose to Dom. Team Dom, let's go. Let's get a dub. And I need Jeff to win against Chris. So Jacob and Chris lose. I win. I'm in. And that's exactly what we need to happen. So we are hanging our hopes on Jeff and Dom this week over here in Old Town. And hopefully you guys can pull it out for me, because if I sneak in the playoffs, I mean, I'm just gonna go buck wild. That would be wild AF.
Yeah. So here it is. So playoff setup, playoff seeding tiebreakers head to head. But if I press edit and I press this little exclamation, it says selected tiebreaker to use the case two more teams have overall record at the end of the regular season. In the instance that the tiebreaker selected does not break the tie, the following order is used to break the tiebreaker. Head-to-head record, point, then it goes points for, then intra-division record, then points against, then coin flip. So am I reading that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because if
the instance that the tiebreaker selected does not break the tie, that's the next order. But you have head-to-head selected, so
right.
That's the first one.
Right. So points for is the first one. So yeah. So that's how I got that. I still don't know how Jeff is only 93% chance, but we'll see if that actually happens. If he loses and shit gets crazy and he doesn't make the playoffs, that'd be kind of funny. But
so I need Jeff to win so bad. So I really, he's not losing. He's making the playoffs because I need him to win.
So the crazy part is here, let's say if me, Chris, and Ryan lose, and then Johnny and Chewy win. So this is where it gets kind of crazy, because I don't know where all the head-to-head proponents are, but I know I am 1-1 versus Chris. I beat Ryan and Johnny, but I lost to Chewy. I don't know how they would actually try to do that, split that as a 5-way tie. I think it would just really go just straight to points for, and whoever has the most points out of those 5 would get in.
I got the tiebreaker over both of them.
Yeah, I don't know if Johnny's got Chris. Maybe Johnny doesn't have any tiebreaker. He probably.
Yeah, but it wouldn't matter because I got it over both of them. So if I end up tied with them, I'm still ahead of both of them on this side.
Yeah, but the sides don't matter when it comes to the last playoff spot.
Yeah, but who else would be over them? It would be between us 3. Well, it'd be between you, Chris, and us 3.
Right, so it'd be us 5. So I think it then goes straight to points for. So if we all finish 7-7, it just goes straight to points for, and whoever has the most points out of us 5 would get in.
Which is actually like really close. Like I'm 35 away from Chris. That's kind of a lot, but only 21 away from you, which is doable.
Right, and then Johnny's a little. I mean, I think that's why they have this percentage. I think that's the only reason why they're both not 0%, is because they need just to score an abundance of points over Chris if that happens. So I think that's the only shot that they have.
I don't think they would even be in that equation though. I'm confused about that because I don't have Johnny head to head. Me and him are 1-1 against each other.
Yeah, I know Chewy definitely beat me. So
so then if Johnny beats me this week, then he would have that head to head over me.
Yeah, I guess so. You'd be 2-1 against.
So I would be. If Johnny beats me, that means I'm out. Like totally. Like I'm not even in that last conversation.
Did you beat Chewy?
Yeah, I got Chewy 2-0.
I wonder what Johnny and Chewy is, because I bet they played twice. So I don't know. Anyway, that's very unlikely. I guess Johnny and Chewy can kind of figure that out. But that
doesn't matter because I'm gonna fucking win, and Jeff's gonna fucking win, and Dom's gonna fucking win, and the Old Town Toads are sneaking into that 4 seed.
That would be crazy. That would be. I wouldn't even be mad at that. That'd just be nuts. I mean, whoever makes it out of us 3, I think our teams are pretty hot. I know Chris and your team is very hot. My team is kind of doing well towards the end of the season. So we might make a splash, especially because we would play Rudy. And like we said, Rudy's team is kind of getting a little banged up. So we would have a pretty good shot at doing something crazy in the playoffs if one of our teams gets there.
Dude, the Toads are on a 5-game win streak. We're going for number 6, and a 6-game win streak to get into playoffs would just be fucking nuts.
That would be nuts. 2-6 from 8-6. That would be crazy. So, all right, we'll go to points 4. Top 4 get the extra mini game playoffs. And like Ryan said earlier, this is pretty close. Me and Ryan are 21 points away from each other. He just needs to beat me by 21 even, and he would get me by the decimals. And then he's a little bit away from Chris. So Chris would have to have a pretty bad week, which I'm hoping he does have, to kind of get pushed out of that. So there's that. Johnny, I don't think you're going to make this. 60 points away in one game is pretty difficult. So I think it's just kind of a 5-man team right here. 3 people are looking for 2 spots. Kind of the same for the actual playoffs, so it's kind of working out that way. So
this is honestly just a massive week. This week is huge.
It is very huge, and that's really good. I like the rivalry week. I like how these games are going to mean a lot. And we'll look at points against. Lubasi sitting pretty at the top spot. Even Rudy's up there too. Dom, then me. Then you can see the bottom of the barrels over here. And it's crazy to see like Jeff and Chris kind of this far down with how successful and good their team is. That kind of just shows the strength of the team and how they can get dubs. And that team is pretty good to be sitting where they're sitting.
Yeah. I've certainly had a lot of points. I've seen a lot of points come my way too. It's been crazy, but probably nobody more unlucky than Jimbo down there on the bottom. I mean, he's, like I said, he's just had for the first few weeks, he just had a tough go, man. I think we just looked last week, right? He saw that first 180 that Jeff dropped.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just, so brutal. I'm pretty sure he had a decent week that week too. I think he put up over 100. So yeah, tough year for Jimmy, man. I feel for him.
So this is another thing that's kind of interesting. We voted on the beginning of the year. Do we do head-to-head versus intra-division? So you can see that kind of screwed Ryan. I think you even voted head-to-head anyway. But if we were doing intra-division, Ryan would be sitting a lot more pretty. His playoff chances are probably go a little higher just because he's got the best intra-division record in the league, tied with Rudy. So just an interesting tidbit there.
Just goes to show how weak our division is.
Yeah, I mean, this is how kind of important these votes are in the beginning of the season because these matter towards the end of the season, especially that one because it tells you who's going to make the playoffs. So
that means I've gone 2 for 4, I think, in the other division, or 1 and 4.
No, you got to play 6. You play everybody once.
Oh, so 2 and 4. I couldn't remember what my record was.
Yeah, 2 and 4. So, all right, we'll go to the home games. The Bossies finish are pretty good again in home. So is Jeff. This should even out the home and away. I think people have 1 more home or 1 more away than what they have. Oh, Rudy is 7-0 in away games. That's kind of crazy.
Man, that's wild. He loves that enemy territory.
And then we'll look at the win streaks. Keeping Ryan alive. Win streak number 5 last week. Rudy's doing pretty well. Like we said, Jimmy's been pretty hot, doing a 3-game win streak. And then this is interesting moves. If you look at Johnny down here, he's only made 7 moves all year. That's
7
crazy.
moves for the whole year. What?
That's like less than once a week.
That counts trades too, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't think he's made a trade.
Oh, no, I don't think he has either. Actually, now that I think about it. That's wild, though. 7 moves.
I think him and Rudy are the only ones who hasn't made a trade this year.
I mean, Rudy didn't need to.
I tried to get Kirk Cousins from him 1 week. But
Jimmy made quite a few trades, and he's only at 16.
Yeah, I think a trade's only 1, though. It's not like if you trade away 3 people, you get 3 different ones. I think it's
Man, me and Nick were out there getting after it, dude. Some waiver whales.
Yeah, you made how many trades? 2?
2 trades, yeah.
Great. So,
Shout out Justin
Nick,
Tucker.
Nick did make a lot of moves in the waivers. So, because I think he only made 1 or 2 trades too. So, a lot of waiver trades or a lot of waiver. So then I guess we'll go to next week's scoreboard, and then we'll kind of close it up. Excuse me. So I think the Raiders and the Rams play this tonight. That game starts in about 30 minutes. Me and Dom have nobody in that game, so I'm sitting there just kind of watching Ryan and Chris's guys. So, but you can see the 104 versus 99 projection my way. Hopefully that I get a little bit more points than that, but hopefully the win-loss is accurate. And then we got Johnny versus Ryan. Projections 101 versus 97. Tight battle. No Lamar. Big Devontae Adams, probably your best guy tonight. That's going to be a good game to watch.
I need him to drop another 30 ball. I need it. I know he just gave me one last week or close, but I need it.
Is Devontae the only people playing today for you both?
Yeah.
Ooh, T. Higgins is questionable. So that's a big game. Then we got Rudy versus Lubasi. That does not mean a thing to the division or standings. Both of them are in, and and Rudy's got the 1 seed, even if he loses, because he's 2-0 against Lubasi now. Chewy and James. I mean, Chewy needs to win, outside chance of making the playoffs, but you need to score about a 180 plus to do that.
Also want to, well, he's 2 games ahead of him. I was going to say keep himself in that possibility for the 4th or the 4th place.
Yep. And we got Nick and Jimmy, toilet bowl there. And then we got another big game, Chris versus Jeff. Let's go into this matchup because we both need Chris to lose. I know he's got Derek Carr starting this week, so he's going to be seeing Derek Carr.
Jeff is always bitching about the lack of support we give his team. Well, here it is. Don't let us fucking down this week, Jeff. I swear to God.
He's got 5 questionables right now in the lineup. Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, and Johnson. Justin Fields on a bye. I know I have Chris Olave on a bye. Worst timing possible, but this is why the playoffs aren't starting this week for fantasy, is because people still have buys. This is the last week for buys. So yeah, Jeff, and then Jeff has Josh Jacobs. So this is a big game tonight that I'll be watching, and just hoping Josh Jacobs rushes for 4 touchdowns.
Oh, Chris has Derek Carr out there tonight. Okay. Oh shit. Oh man, this is a big game, dude. Holy shit.
Big game. So Jeff is rolling out the Raiders D too. I didn't see that. So
oh my God.
And he's got the kicker, Daniel Carlson.
This guy is stacking up on Thursday Night Football. This is a recipe for fucking disaster. Oh man, it sucks you guys aren't going to see this tonight as we're reacting before the game.
Right. Yeah. And
then Monday, man, this is bad, Jeff. Oh man, I'm gonna text him after we get done.
So Tyreek Hill's got the Sunday night game, and the DeAndre Hopkins, if he plays, has Monday night. So that game will go to Monday night. And I know I have a Monday night. I have one Monday night with Ramondre Stevenson. So that game's going to be very hype. If we're both like winning and I'm beating Chris by like 10 points, I'm going to need Stevenson to outscore Hopkins by like 5 to get in the playoffs. Oh, that's going to be a hype game. So this is going to be a hype week. I can't wait for Sunday, because that's when I'm pretty much going to be starting to watch football, because this game I really don't care too much about, but I'll be hawking it a little bit.
Yep, this is a huge week, a massive week. Anything can happen. We're still in it, so I'm pretty excited. Let's get Old Town into the fucking playoffs. That'd be so huge. And I'm taking a naked lap if we make it.
I'll take a naked lap if I make it. So there's gonna be naked laps around our neighborhoods.
Naked laps around the whole neighborhood. Probably get arrested for that. All right, with that, we are gonna wrap up the Week 13 recap. Good luck to everybody that's still in the hunt for Week 14. This is a massive opportunity, as we've stated numerous times. I can't wait for Sunday, and we'll catch you guys next week.